hour later, more bombs followed. This time they hit the heart of Iran's nuclear program, the Natanz nuclear facility. Israel says more than 100 targets were hit. Now, this does not mean that 100 different cities or towns were hit. There could be multiple targets in the same location. In fact, let me pull up the map for you. Reports say these 6 locations were targeted. Tehran, the capital. Tabriz, which has a nuclear research center. Kermanshah, which has a missile base. Natanz, the main nuclear site of Iran. Isfahan, which also has a nuclear facility. And finally, Arak, another nuclear complex. All these locations were hit by Israel this morning, which raises 2 questions. How were they hit and why were they hit? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement after the attack. Israel is calling it Operation Rising Lion. How was the attack carried out? Israel says it used 200 fighter jets to attack Iran. That would make up 60% of their fleet. They have released a video of the planes taking off. Have a look. Planes, the F-35, the F-15 and the F-16, all these planes were used against Iran. They would have flown over Jordan, Syria and Iraq to reach their targets in Iran. Once there, they dropped more than 330 bombs. And losses? Well, none reported so far. And there's a reason for that. Reports say the Mossad was working on the ground in Iran. As you know, Mossad is Israel's spy agency. They had apparently infiltrated Iran. And they had a 3-fold mission. First, to set up a drone base near Tehran. Mossad set up a drone base near Tehran, the Iranian capital. We are talking about kamikaze or suicide drones. These drones were activated overnight and they crashed into Iran's missile launchers. That is the first objective. The second, to smuggle weapons into Iran. The details have not been released yet by Israel, but these weapons took out Iran's air defenses, which would explain the clear strikes. And finally, objective number 3, to deploy precision missiles near anti-aircraft sites in central Iran. Apparently, this too was done by Mossad commandos. The idea was to protect Israeli jets. Now, if true, this represents a wide-ranging operation of massive scale. Though again, not surprising. Israel has been preparing for such an attack on Iran, not for months or weeks, but for many years. Now, strategically, they don't have an option. This is the worst attack on Iran since 1988, since the end of the brutal war with Iraq. And this time, Iran has been targeted in its heartland, in its strategic and nuclear centers. The regime cannot afford to let this go unanswered, so we can only hope that cooler heads